Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for part 4 of our series on purse preparedness, a prepper's purse, EDC, etc. I still haven't set an exact name because it keeps kind of changing. This series is morphing as I'm going along, because I started off the first video in this particular series. I was talking about just a few of the random items I keep in my purse for everyday carry, and just wanted to show you that, and that was all I was going to do. And then I decided, why not expound on that and add to it, showing you a few more of the items. I don't show everything I have in my purses and bags, but just showing you a few more items that might give you some ideas for yourself. Now here's the deal. You have to decide what is best for you and your needs. How much you carry or how little you carry is going to be entirely up to you. There's no one right way or one right thing for you to carry. It's got to be completely tailored to you. But by getting different ideas both through my videos and through the people that comment down below, you can learn all kinds of ideas and say, that was a good one for me. Nah, that one doesn't suit me, and so on. And then you put together your purse, your bug out bag, etc., according to your needs. So with that in mind, I want to bring up something that I just added to my purse that I've been meaning to do for years but keep forgetting, and was reminded about it in a comment from the very first video in this series, because at the time that I'm actually shooting this part 4, parts 2 and 3 have yet to publish. So that's why I'm talking about it now. So anyway, a sewing kit. So what I have in here is I have a needle threader. Yes, I finally did stock up on some needle threaders. I couldn't buy them in less than a pack of 50 to get a good deal, but that's okay. So I have a lot. I can put them anywhere I want. So I got a needle threader. I have this little chunk of cardboard. So I got the cardboard idea from the lady that commented, and I wrapped some thread, several layers of thread around the cardboard, and then there's a needle poking into the cardboard, or actually into the thread right there. And then I also have some safety pins. Safety pins are something I would normally carry anyway, and that was something that started back when I was teaching dance. We'd do dance shows. There was always some kind of costume blowout. So having safety pins on hand right in the middle of the show. So having safety pins on hand was incredibly important. So that's something I would typically carry, but for some reason, whatever happened, I didn't have them in my purse anymore, so that was another reminder to get them back in there, because safety pins, they have so many uses. So what I did is, if you watch my last video, you'll know what's in this little bag here. There's something in this particular bag that's kind of fragile, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to make you have to go back and watch that video. I think it's in the second video. So anyway, so I'm putting that in there. I'm putting my specialized lighter in there, and this little bag happened to come with a set of clippers that I bought. I didn't need the bag, I just needed the clippers, but the bag is adds a little, it's kind of padded, so that's gonna, that's gonna keep the items in there, especially that one little fragile item, a little more protected. And then all those little smaller things like the sewing kit and stuff, it helps keep it better organized in my purse. So that's going to go into my purse like that. So if you're interested in more of the stuff that I have in my purse, again, I don't talk about everything I carry, but if you're interested, you can go check out the first 3 videos that I have out so far. But in the last video, I had actually moved up to my bigger purse. This is my more heavy duty, if I really want a little more extra stuff, depending on where we're going, if we're going out of town. This here is good enough for me just around town. But this is a bag that I usually try to keep in whatever rig that we're in, no matter where we go. The items in this are kind of that next level up. So make sure you check out part 3, because I go over in part 3 what's in one of the sections of this bag and talk a little bit more about the bag itself. And one of the things I was pointing out in one of the other videos was the importance of having something on either my purse, my wallet, or even this bag to hook my keys on. And the nice thing about a sling pack or a backpack is usually you're given all kinds of options of places where you can clip things to. So this is the place I would normally use here is this top handle. This is nice because I can pick it up by this, or I've got the strap. And then there's, you know, like I showed here, and there's a few other places I can hook the keys. Up here is the best place, but this is nice, especially the bigger your bag is, the easier it is to lose your keys within. So having a little carabiner, and then, you know, putting your keys on there, and then having the ability to hook these keys anywhere along the outside is going to keep them more handy for you and harder to lose. So let's talk about what's in the main pocket here. So I'm just going to show you a few of the things in here. And one of the things is this little bag here. This is the one I keep the foot and hand warmers in here. So I have a couple of packs of each of those, and as you've seen, I do keep some of those also in my purse, and I had to replace the ones that were in there when I was going through my purse and changing it out, because I realized somehow they had been activated and were all crumbled and dried up. So I also have a couple of things, like I have it's a more natural form of like a cortisone cream, and then also a triple antibiotic ointment. Now these are things I never use, but having them on hand in the case of an emergency is handy. So the ointment you would think as being something that should be more in the first aid kit, but my little mini first aid kit is packed full. So that is this actually came with some vests that we bought ourselves several years back. And it was just a nice little bag. And so somebody had asked me in that first video I put out in this newer series if I'd ever put a first aid kit. Well, I've always had a first aid kit in this bag, but I don't carry one in this. And the reason for that is this is the purse I'm going to grab and carry when I'm going in and out of the store and all that kind of stuff. We live in a small town. We're not far from home. Anywhere we go in town, we're not far from home. We're not far from any place, you know, where we can get help, but also because this bag or the bug out bag is in the rig anyway, and this is where we keep our first aid kit. So just like with my bags, I have levels of first aid. There are first aid items in here, and I showed some of them in the previous videos, but this one has just got a little bit more to it. It has a lot of the same stuff as the bigger kit. I have some gauze, I have bandages, I even have some, what do you call them, the strips that you would use in place of sutures. I have those in here, and some more antibiotic cream that's in small packets. So this is my little first aid kit. What's in here? I can't remember. Oh yes, and then in this outer pocket, it's kind of hard to get out, but I have this little container. It's a recycled Tic Tac container, and those aren't Tic Tacs. This is when absolutely necessary. These are painkillers. I think it's ibuprofen. Now, personally, ibuprofen and acetaminophen, those kind of drugs, we try to avoid those as much as possible, but we still keep them on hand, especially in things like this, in the case of an emergency. Sometimes you don't always have those natural painkillers on hand. You know, carrying around fresh pieces of feverfew and catnip and wild lettuce, if that's your thing, that's not always going to be feasible. I do have some things I carry in my purse, you know, that are to help with pain, but this is for more serious things. Even though I think they're some of the most toxic drugs on the market, there's still those moments that it could be necessary. Sometimes you have to just, you got to do what's best. So we still keep those kind of things on hand. Even though we have in here, we have like the alcohol wipes, we do still keep some hand sanitizer on hand as well. Hand sanitizer is not something I always recommend. It's not something people should be using on a regular basis. Again, just like with the ibuprofen or the acetaminophen, this is something that should be used only in the case of an emergency where it's really, really necessary that you are sanitized, such as if you're repairing a wound. And that might be your best option. Maybe you don't have running water available and all that. And I also have another one of these ties. In fact, I think this is the one I showed in the last video, but this is the one that stays in this particular bag here. I also keep a pair of wool socks in here in case, you just never know, you might need a change of socks. And one thing I tend to keep in pretty much every purse and bag is at least one crochet hook. That may seem silly, but there's a reason for that. I might have different sizes in each one. I know I have one in here. I can't remember what size. This one's a J. I do at home, I use the wooden ones that Patrick made me, but I keep the aluminum ones in the bags. And that is because you never know when you might need to repair something. There's all kinds of things you can repair with a crochet hook. Or let's say we go into town and I happen to see a good deal on some yarn and I decide I want to get busy on the trip home and start making whatever it is I had in my mind. I've got a crochet hook on hand, and so there I go. I can go ahead and get busy doing that. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead, since that was pretty quick, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about what's in this little pouch here. It's nothing really exciting. Remember, this is more something, you know, I carry as a purse. And one of the things I keep in here are little plastic baggies. These are multi-purpose, so like if we got the dog with us and we take him for a walk and we need some, you know, some baggies for his waist, we've got that. I keep a pair of reading glasses in here because I have a pair in my purse, but in my other purse, but I have a pair in here as well. And I just made this little crocheted pouch for them. I keep a pair of scissors. This is where I have my scissors. In fact, I bought this particular pair of scissors for the purpose of carrying in my purse, because scissors, I don't know how many times these come in handy. And so I always try to have these on hand, even though I carry other things in this purse that I use if I don't feel like digging the scissors out of this bag, because the purse is usually handier. It's a really good idea to have some scissors. There's certain multi-tools, like the one I showed you in the other video, that you can get that actually has a little pair of scissors. Those may be a better choice for you if you have it all in one thing. And then it's funny because somebody also mentioned this under my first video. Yes, I actually do keep a whistle on hand. It's got a nice lanyard on it so I can put it around my neck or tie it onto anything. But having a whistle, this is a really good idea to have on hand for several different reasons. Now, it's something I've never needed so far, but it can be a form of self-defense or a way that you can just call for help wherever you are when maybe you can't use your vocal cords to do so. And another type of a lighter. So I have this little magnesium strip lighter right here. I'm not going to go over what's in this particular thing. Again, there's certain things I just don't feel like I need to tell everyone, but I'll just put it this way. I do carry other things for self-defense besides a whistle and a couple of knives. But speaking of that, let's talk about what's in this little pouch here. This will be probably the last thing I talk about on this particular bag, and I think on my next video I'll start going over the bug out bag. And that is another knife. And I just really liked this one. It was given to us by a friend, and I thought it was just really pretty. And so I don't know, I just have this thing for knives. I always feel like I can't have enough of them. So anyway, even though I have 3 in my other purse, there's one more right there. And it's a little bit more handy, and that's still not even all the knives that I carry. There's one more I'm going to talk about eventually, maybe in the next video. I just feel like my way of doing things is probably really different than everyone else's because I have the various levels. I kind of work my way up. So I basically have 4 different levels. So I got the 1, 2, 3, and then the bug out bag or the go bag would be level 4. So again, it's depending on what I need at the time, where we're at, what we're doing, how far away from town we are, and so on and so forth. So these are just some more ideas for you to consider, or even think of the type of bag you want to carry on a regular basis. Again, I carried this as a purse just by itself for a long time, but then I decided for just around town, this was really not necessary to carry this much. Leaving this in the rig made more sense to me, and then having something that's still not really small, but a little more manageable for just going and running into the store made more sense. So that's what this is here. So anyway, and I do go into more detail about these in the other video, so don't forget to check out the whole playlist, which I will link to that down below, whatever the name of it is. I don't know, because like I said, I keep changing it, But anyway, you'll see that link in the description box. Don't forget to click on show more to see all of our links in there. And then hopefully on my next video, I'll get started on the go bag so you can see the kinds of things that I carry in there. Now, don't forget to put down below the things that you like to carry. What works for you? Why do you carry those particular things, especially if they're things that you might think are pretty unique to you? You may find that other people carry the same thing, or if nothing else, you're going to help give people good ideas of things that they can carry. Remember, the smaller the better, especially when you're talking about things you want to carry in your purse. The smaller and lighter weight you can go, the best, because you don't want things to be too cumbersome. But I'm going to be talking more about that in following videos. And also remember, I'm not showing you everything I carry in my purse, so I may very likely already have some of the items that you may mention. I'm just not showing all of my cards. All right, well, I hope you're enjoying this series. There'll be more to come, maybe at least one more part, but probably a few more parts. And if I get any more good ideas like the sewing kit, being reminded of that I decide I want to implement that because of your comments, I will go ahead and talk about that in future videos as well. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.